Hey guys, this is Courtney from Willow's Bloom, where we intentionally design our life and business with the cosmos. And today I want to talk to you guys about Kajabi versus Podia, which is better to host your course. And I'm going to get into the nitty gritty because I have personally used both of them and have looked extensively into both of them. And I use one, but I might switch to another. So I like them both, and I want to teach you guys what the differences are. So you're going to learn in this video the most important features for course creators in both of the platforms and the biggest pro and con for each, according to moi. So go ahead and stay tuned. All right, let's start with the most expensive one. Let's start with Kajabi. So Kajabi is great, but a little bit complicated. That's going to be the synopsis for me. So it is the all-in-one course platform. I'm probably going to read off of my notes a little bit here. So if you see me looking down, it's just because I don't have all this memorized. So the great thing about Kajabi is that it can save you a lot of money if you don't have some things already in place for your business. So for example, if you don't have a website and you want to have a course, oh my gosh, use Kajabi, because you can start your own website and host it through Kajabi without paying extra. So it's that all-in-one platform. They really have everything that you could possibly need. And so if you don't have those other things already, Kajabi is your way to go. So let me tell you about the price before we get into it, because I'm sure for a lot of you that will be the deal breaker. So for the basic plan, it's $129 a month for 5 products. And for the pro plan, it's $389 a month for 100 products. And I don't know why there's such a jump, but clearly they're targeting a very specific kind of audience with that almost $400 a month, guys. Anyway, that's very expensive. So the cool thing about Kajabi is that you can run webinars. You can run evergreen webinars through them. And so I am specifically interested in this to create my whole marketing strategy. And if you're interested in marketing and everything business, then check out my business course using astrology on willowsbloom.com. But yeah, so I want to do some evergreen webinars, and to be honest, it's costing like $78 a month for me to use Easy Webinar. But you could just use Kajabi. Like I said, it's that all-in-one software. It's really great for that. So if you do want to have like a video going to your course and explaining everything, then creating a webinar is really great. And when you make it evergreen, it just means that it's always running. People can always sign up. And when they do sign up, they can schedule it for whenever. So they can schedule it. I think the earliest you can schedule it is like 15 minutes after they submit their email. So that means that they can watch the webinar like 15 minutes later, or they could schedule it for like a few days later. Like you can select different options as the customer or as like the person looking to watch the video. So there are some like techie stuff with Kajabi that I'm like, I don't really get it. Like, they have all of the different features, but I just kind of feel like it's a little bit complicated and it's not super well designed, because I just did not like the way it was designed. They just made it overly complex because they wanted to give it all the features, which is great, but it has its drawbacks. So there might be like some limitations, like the fact that you can't watch the webinar right away as a customer. But for example, if you did Easy Webinar, I'm sure that they have that kind of flexibility because they specialize in webinars with that program. Okay, enough about webinars. So both Podia and Kajabi have courses where you can upload your courses. Obviously, that's what this whole video is about. They both have membership site options. For Podia, you have to upgrade to get your membership availability. They both have built-in email systems. So you can have automated email funnels triggered for people who enroll in your courses or who are interested in your courses. So both of them can have like hosted pages where people who are interested can get on like a wait list for your course, and then they will get sent your email funnel to get them more and more interested over time. So both of them have those. Both of them have the option to do affiliates, which is where you basically give somebody a specific link, like a unique URL for your course, and then as they promote your course, if somebody buys through their link, they get a cut of it. And so both Kajabi and Podia support this. Podia makes you go to the more expensive plan for that, but it's still way cheaper than Kajabi's basic plan. So keep that in mind. Okay, they both allow you to drip content, which means they both allow you to schedule content to come out slowly over time. So when someone enrolls a course, it's not like they have a month or 6 months worth of content. They get day 1, and then as you know, when day 2 arrives, they get day 2, that kind of thing. So both of them allow you to do that. Kajabi again has lots of features, lots of control. There's way more editing for the visual aspect in Kajabi. I think that you can do that in Podia, but I think you might need to know how to code. So I don't know how to code. Okay, so they have lots of metrics tracking. Oh, this one's great, because if anything is important in business, it's the metrics. It's knowing what's going on behind the scenes and customer behavior. So if someone is landing on your page but they're not buying, you need to know that. You need to know how many people are there. You need to know how many people are buying in that ratio, because there might be a problem there, and you can fix it if you know that ratio is lower than it should be. And you know, if students aren't finishing the course, or if they are only watching part of the video, or if they're only watching part of the webinar, you can track all that in Kajabi. So that's a really, really positive feature. Podia, you guys, Podia, that is struggle. So I'll talk about that in a second when I get to Podia. But yeah, Kajabi is really great in that aspect. Okay, so some things I did not like about Kajabi is you had to duplicate your whole course content, like the whole offering, I should say, not go in and individually. It's just like you have to duplicate the whole offering if you want to create a different cost, like a payment plan, basically. So if you don't want people to pay $2,000 outright, and you do like, you know, $300 times whatever, how many times, like you have to just, it's like a really convoluted way of allowing them to have a payment plan option, which I do not like in Kajabi. That's what I'm saying, like they have all these features, but it's just not really well organized or set up. And it's just kind of hard to figure out. So both of them have coupon codes where you can check out and just put in the coupon code. You guys, this is a really big one. Both of them have very simplified and streamlined checkout processes. And I listened to a whole podcast about this where I was talking with Kajabi, and they noticed that once Kajabi, and I think this was a while back, once they upgraded and changed their checkout process to something that was more simplified, they noticed a huge increase. I think it was like a 50% increase in the people that purchased. And it's just creating a less barrier for entry. And both of them have this. Both Podia and Kajabi have a very streamlined checkout process. I know Kajabi had only a couple of fields. It looked really great. Podia, even better, they had a step-by-step process. So like, okay, you just input one thing and then it will take you to the next thing. And so it's like you don't have to have this big form with all of these fields to fill out in order to check out. And so it's less intimidating and you're more likely to buy. Okay, so the biggest pro for Kajabi, as I mentioned 1,000 times, is that it's an all-in-one platform with great metrics tracking. I can't really tell you how important that is to track your metrics, and I wish that Podia had that, but again, I'm going to get to that in a second. The biggest con is that it's super expensive and really difficult to fill out. It's super convoluted. To me, it wasn't intuitive. To other people, they might disagree, but if you're going from Kajabi to Podia, you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is so much easier. And when I did that, I was like able to get my whole course up in Podia in like an hour. And then in Kajabi, it was like I was messing around with that just to get a freaking sales page up for a whole day, and it was such a waste of my time. So if you guys are business owners, then you know the most important thing that you have in your business is your time, and so that was very infuriating. Okay, so Podia, super simple. Very like simple layout. Like it looks very visually pleasing, I would say. There is limited editing because of this. You don't have a lot of, like ability to change every little thing. You can change your course like colors and things like that. So you can change what's necessary. It doesn't get super fancy though. Okay, it hosts the course enrollment page, the email affiliates, memberships, seamless payment plan option. Okay, this is great because you don't have to duplicate the whole offering like you do in Kajabi. All you do is have to just put in, like in the back end of the offering, you put in it costs this much, and then you could do 7 payments of this to equal, whatever amount you want it to be. And you have so many great easy features in the back end of it. You can open enrollment, close enrollment, make it start at a certain time. And anyway, it's really seamless. If I could say anything, it's just super simple. And for anyone who has just a course and that's like all they want to do with it and just drip content onto people, I would say Podia is yo man. Okay, so less control over features, but it's good to get you started. Both of them you can add teammates. So if you have a virtual assistant, I know somewhere else I read online that they said you can't add teammates or like admin for Podia, but you can add your VA. So I don't know what they were talking about or if that was like an old thing, because the good thing about Podia is that they're always adding new features. So it's not like, oh, okay, Calendly, which I talked about in my last video. If you guys want, check out my last video about tools for your business, because I mentioned a bunch of them that are super useful. But I was talking about how Calendly has all these people requesting for them to add a feature, and then they're just ignoring them for years and years on end. Podia is actually working on adding new features all of the time, so I recommend that. Okay, so for the metrics, you can only track individual people's progress. So you have to go into that person and track their progress on the course, and that's the only metric that you can track. And you have to literally go in for each individual person to see that. So it's not like you can even see an overall, like how many people completed the course. And to me, that's crazy. So I emailed the owner of Podia and I was like, you know, what's going on with the metrics there? And he said that they were going to come out with later this year some way more in-depth metrics. So I am crossing my fingers that will be sooner rather than later. Okay, great. So the basic plan is $39, and this comes with just your ability to have the course and everything. And then if you want to do affiliates and a membership site, that is $79. So the biggest pro is that it's super simple, streamlined, has pretty much everything that you need for half the price of Kajabi. The biggest con is the metrics tracking, not a fan, and then you have to go in for each individual person. So that is pretty much the summary of those two. But if you're interested in more platforms, then you can also check out Teachable, Thinkific, and LearnDash, which is a plugin for a WordPress website. So if you have a WordPress site, you can use LearnDash. I looked into those and I haven't used them, so I didn't want to put them in this video, but I looked into them and they definitely didn't compete according to my standards, and that's why I chose Podia, because it was the best for the best price. So I would love for you guys to comment down below, which platform do you think wins, Kajabi or Podia? Please let me know, because I'm honestly not sure. Right now I'm using Podia, but as I start doing the evergreen and things get more complicated and I have to restrict access to certain people and not to others, Kajabi might be the way to go, even though it's more complicated and kind of a headache and time waste to figure out. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for staying tuned. Please answer that down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, hit that notification bell, because that's how you get my videos pushed here each week. I hope you have a good one. Bye.